snowed last night. It's pretty astounding. I'm pretty happy about it. I have all the windows open. It's really bright in here. Makes me happy. But this morning I was thinking about this whole myth of the strong, independent, single woman. You know, grabs life by the someone would grab a bull by the horns, like whoever that person would fucking be. I don't know, maybe like a veterinarian trying to cut off the horns on a... Anyway, whole point is that's what the lie is. The lie is, women, you go out, you're gonna go get a degree, right? And while you're getting that degree, you don't need a man, because fuck, he's gonna get in your way. He's gonna get in the way of you getting a degree so you can get a decent career. So that's one of the lies you're sold. And another lie you're sold is, you need a career. You really need a career. You're not gonna be worth anything. You're not gonna be a strong, independent woman. Nah. You're not gonna be a good example to other women if you don't have a career. It's like, that's such a fucking lie. I'm sitting here, I'm 25. I should have a career started by now. I went through the whole college thing. I work at Walmart, at customer service. That's what I'm cut out for, like, quite frankly. Maybe doing the customer service manager position. I think I would be decent at that as well. Maybe if given time I was allowed to grow and mature, I could take on a management position. So maybe my degree is useful. However, I don't have plans to do that. I have plans to be a mom and to get married and have babies. Just lots of babies, as many as I can deal with. You know, like, that's what I am programmed for. If you have a problem with what I'm personally programmed for, by the way, the issue is with yourself. Because I know that simply saying that I want to be a mom, I want to pop out as many kids as I possibly can, I want to raise them, I want to be a stay-at-home mom, hey, maybe even homeschool them, mind blown. People are like, you know that means you're oppressed, right? It's like, no, that's just another feminist lie. Women who choose to stay at home and take care of babies are no more oppressed or less oppressed. Actually, they're probably way less oppressed than the women actually in the workforce who shouldn't be there. Like, if you can't handle the stress of a management position, you shouldn't be in a management position. It's like my CSM right now. She is incompetent. She doesn't screw things up, so she's allowed to keep her job, and she's very hard to come across someone willing to work at Walmart in this area who's willing to do that customer service management job. So she keeps the job, which I'm fine with, I understand. Still completely incompetent. She's not built for that. But she's not married because she made bad decisions in her life, and somebody along the line didn't sit her down to tell her, you need to find a high quality guy to settle down with. And by high quality guy, I don't mean a guy who's rich. I don't mean a guy who has sports cars and can take you on fancy dates and all these things. But it does mean a guy who has a job and is making some money. It means finding a guy that you're actually compatible with in your values and your goals and your dreams and all those things. You know, because you don't want to be that woman who wasted away her fertility, her youth, going to college. I mean, I honestly wish I hadn't wasted my time. I can't change it now, so now I just have to be grateful for the experience, because I actually went to a decent college that had decent humanities. But, you know, like, I know I've wasted my biological time. And that kills me. It's like I'm 25. I wish I was pregnant right now. You know, and it's especially frustrating finally meeting the right person, and then, you know, you're like, oh, but wait, we have to kind of do this right. We should probably get married first. And, oh, well, my parents might freak out if we do that before, you know, we hit that 6-month mark, you know. They might be kind of shocked if I just walk into the house one day. I'm like, yeah, me and Mike decided to get married. No, I think they're going to want to be invited to the wedding, and I think it's going to be a little too concerning to them if it happens a little too soon, but I don't know. It's like, you can only do this, by the way, ladies. Don't pick a guy and move in with him right away like I did, unless you've done the hard work of figuring out what you want, why you want it, and what type of man's going to fulfill that need. And mind you, I didn't immediately start dating him. I worked with him since last July. Like, months and months, we sat there flirting with each other and getting to know each other. And, you know, he'd come in with his son, so I knew he had a son. And we'd talk and you know, I remember one specific conversation we had where he was explaining, you know, like some of the things about his life and, you know, his desires, and feeling like he was at a place in the society just like I do. And, you know, when we had that conversation, and mind you, this is before we even started dating, I just sort of knew that we had the same goals and aspirations and values and all of those things. I just knew. And so, as I've gotten to know him more, having already had been his friend, which was really nice, he continues to be what I thought he was. And the fact is, I've been able to put into words the things that I want out of a man, so that when he came along, I was able to recognize it, which is great. And here's another thing that people, that society and feminism lies about. Marriage is not a patriarchal institution. It's a very matriarchal institution. You know, you ever hear that saying, if a mama ain't happy, nobody happy? That's because daddy wants pussy at the end of the day. And so, dad has to make mom happy. Especially if she's not a pushover. You know, and that's kind of one of the things. You have to keep a relationship that's healthy. And marriages benefit women in so many more ways than they do men, to the point where it is unhealthy for men in just an extreme way. You know, like, women, even with no-fault divorce, get to take half the money. It's like, are you fucking me? She destroyed the marriage and she gets rewarded for that? No. You don't understand. The reason why men were originally supposed to lose so much if they got a divorce, literally half their life be ripped away, the reason for this was to prevent men from divorcing women. It worked brilliantly. Now, unfortunately, you have no-fault divorce, so women think to themselves, I could rip his life away from him, have it for myself, and not have to deal with that fucker anymore. I don't have to take responsibility for anything. I don't have to be a decent human being. I don't have to try to show my worth to him, because I can hold it over his head that, I could rip away his life, his manlyhood, his balls, everything, if I wanted to. It's disgusting. It is disgusting the way men are treated in this society. And as a result, women are suffering. Women are suffering because they have chosen to destroy their own marriages. If a woman's married to a decent guy, like my boyfriend's ex-wife was, and she decided to be a completely horrible wretch, cheated on him, abused their kid, all this shit, if you choose to be that, yeah, he's not gonna want to take you back, you dumb cunt. Yeah, when you choose to divorce him, he's got a right to just be like, you made this decision, please leave. And so these women, they end up whoring themselves around, which she did before they even broke up. Which is not a healthy behavior. I'm sorry, women. I know there's all this stuff about sexual freedom, but you don't want STDs. You don't want to get syphilis. What if you get syphilis from some migrant or something? God forbid. It's not as common in the United States, but what if they're from like a country where medications and stuff like that just aren't as common and they have syphilis? What if they pass it on to you? What if you didn't know because it's not common here? They don't even test for it, as far as I know, that often in the United States. Usually it's just gonorrhea and chlamydia that they test for. Syphilis means you actually have to have a blood test and stuff like that. And that eats at your brain. Like, there are serious, significant risks. You could get HPV, like what my boyfriend's ex-wife gave to him, which gave him cancer. Like, there is serious, significant consequences for your actions. And there's been a lot of lies about this sexual freedom thing and the pill and, like, no. What the pill does, and what IUDs, which is what I have, do, is it allows me to meet a man like what I've met, and then go, well, he needs to trust me, so let's not get pregnant for a while. Let's not do that, because shit. Do you know how many fucking women out there do that to trap a man? Like, no, you need to be able to stand on your own laurels. You can't just use your vagina as a weapon. Like, that is the destruction of our society. That is the destruction of female security and safety in the West. Like, I don't think you girls and you women understand how badly this whole myth of women can do it on our own, women empowerment, is destroying us. It's all interconnected. The way you treat men, the way women think that they can survive on their own, when the fact is women, we can't fucking do it. We can't survive on our own. You might be able to live independently in this society and make a living for yourself and maybe be a strong career woman and kick ass and be one of the guys or whatever. But the very fact is that unless those men were around you who had built that company, you would not be allowed to be there. You would be somebody's real slave. Because the barbarians would be infesting this land just everywhere if it wasn't for our men protecting us. And so you are never, ever, ever without the protection of a man. No matter where you are in this country, there is a man protecting you. There is a man making sure that your electricity stays on so that your food doesn't go bad. So that you don't starve if things go shit up. Tits up, you know how much it takes to keep our civilization going, all the technology, all the resources that need to be mined and gathered and and then formed and milled. Like, how many fucking women smelt iron? How many? I would like to know. How many women smelt steel? I'm pretty sure that's a male-dominated industry, and yet women aren't out there, feminists aren't out there screeching about wanting those jobs. There's huge disparity in those jobs. Why don't we get more women in there? I don't know, maybe because, like, this is tiny. I'm 5'2". And so, if I have anything made out of steel in my life, that means that I have had a man influence my life in a hugely significant way. So ladies, anytime you walk into a house that has been built by a man, your safety has relied on a man. Because a man invented that house, A man built that house. A man invented the locks on your house. A man invented ways to make those locks better so that pickpocketers and thieves couldn't come along and just pick at things. Men have, through the ages, repeatedly made our world safer and safer and safer and safer and safer. And you cunts are treating them like they're disposable. It is a fucking lie that these men are disposable. Get rid of all the men in the world. First off, we wouldn't be able to reproduce. Like, go fuck yourselves, those women out there who reject biology. Which you have to be a special type of crazy to reject biology. But say you got rid of all the men in the United States, for instance. You know what would happen? Muslims on the other side of the pond would think, well, look at all that fresh meat over there. Let's go rape and pillage, steal some resources, impregnate some slaves. Yeah, that sounds like a great idea. That's what our men protect us from. Just their mere presence here. We could not defend ourselves from a horde of barbarians coming at us. Not unless we had our men in front of us with guns going, fuck off, bastard. Women don't have the same instinct to kill as a man does. Like, a man could sit there and dispassionately kill over and over and over and over and over. And as long as he knows in the back of his head he's doing it for a good reason, like, that bastard's gonna come in and he's gonna rape and kill my wife, something like that, he's got a good reason for defending this country, for defending this land from those barbarians who would, and this is what is crazy to me, they would come over here and rape and kill you. They would. Not all of them. Not everyone. I'm talking about very specific types of people who would want to come over here and be extremely predatory, take our resources, and rape our women and slaughter people, slaughter our children, because they would be a risk. Especially our male children. This has happened over and over and over and over again through the ages. Look, the Bible, and I know a lot of people go, fuck off with the Bible. I don't like religion. Fuck God. Like, yeah, you have issues. Like, don't get so triggered. So the Bible, though, is a long history, a long oral tradition that's been written down eventually, in a very sort of inspired way. And when I say inspired, I mean like legitimately very creative and very useful way. And, you have stories like the slaughter of the innocents. So what you get there is you have whatever totalitarian system is in control, right? And then you have the Jewish people. And the Jewish people are, they tend to come into areas and they do extremely well for themselves, and they inspire a lot of anger and jealousy, and then sometimes they get corrupt, and then so it makes them look like they have really bad reputations. And so this is a repetitive thing for the Jews. And it's also been a repetitive thing, so much so that they chose to record it in narrative form, is the slaughter of the innocents. So you have it happen twice in the Bible that I can think of right off the top of my head, maybe more times than that. First very notable one is the time of Moses, right? Where you have the Pharaoh go, the Jewish people, they're getting too rich, they're getting too powerful, we're going to slaughter their kids and take everything away from them. Basically enslaved the man to the point where his body is completely broken, and then kill the upcoming male children so that there's no masculinity in those people. There's no vitality in those people. There's no future in those people. And so it was really important for Moses to come back and bring them out of that situation where their women were just, and their children were being just taken advantage of and brutalized. And then you have, of course, Jesus comes along, and something very similar happened when he was about 2 years old. And so, very similarly, Joseph had to take him out of that situation to protect him. And you even see it nowadays. And it's really, really, really fucking sad. And, I call it the American genocide, because we've already killed, 53 million of our people via abortion. Disproportionately more black women, by the way, kill their babies, which is really sad. And it all boils down to not having men there to just say, no, I'm gonna protect my kid. No, you can't have an abortion. Why can't you have an abortion? Because it's wrong to have an abortion electively, because you're just killing your child for no reason. And B, a father who's there and invested, they want to protect their child. They want to provide for that child. That child won't be a burden if women spend time investing in the right type of guy. And so, to have a father around is to have protection around, is to have, providence around. Your life goes so much easier, and the life of a woman goes so much easier when she has a husband. I don't care if you want to go be your strong, independent, industry-leading, ball-busting career woman. But when you come home, you need to be able to be vulnerable and soft with somebody. And you need to be able to have real conversations. And have a partner who's there. And maybe if you're that ball-busting woman, maybe he's the stay-at-home dad who pays all the bills and does all the grocery shopping and makes sure the house is clean. But you still need that partner. And when you're 50 years old and you've gone way past your market value in terms of your sexuality, you want to have a secure, established relationship. And you want to make sure that he knows he is accepted, and that he is loved, and that you have gratitude for the fact that he's in your life, just as he should have gratitude that you're in his life. This is a two-way street. Men are not disposable. I know women think that, but they are not disposable. I saw this comedian one time. She was a woman. She was brilliant. I don't know who she was. But she was like, yeah, when you're in your 20s, it's pretty much like, it's like guys are like going through a box of feelings. Like, no, I don't want you. 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 Do. And then you hit 35 and you're searching on the ground for some crumpled up Kleenex. You're like, will you please take me back? I'm sorry. It's like, yeah, that's exactly what it's like. You're not going to find a good man once you hit 50. You're not going to find a decent quality guy who's going to want to impregnate you at 35. I'm 25. This is the right age. Women, if you've hit 25 and you don't have a husband yet, start looking now. And if you have a boyfriend right now and you're like, oh, but maybe he'll turn around and maybe he'll stop slacking off. No, bitches. No, that is not the guy you want. The guy you want is the go-getter, is the provider, is the guy who knows how to build things with his hands. And even if it's just a figurine or something like that. A guy who knows how to problem solve and can fix problems if they come up in your life. You want somebody who is going to be your actual partner. It is so lonely and it is so hard by yourself. This lie that you can do it all by yourself, man can't even do it by himself. I came into this house and he had a Halloween candy just laying on the counter. And it's fucking January, right? Or February. from his kid going trick-or-treat cat, things. And, like, I went look through the pots and pans, and they're all disgusting, and it's just like, how do you live in this house and there's nothing pretty, and there's, pictures of naked women on the walls, which I think is just kind of funny. I did make him change one of his pictures on his screensaver, because I was like, yeah, I have a little bit of an issue with there being two women and one of them with the other woman's nipple in their mouth. That's a little too sexual for me as a screensaver. If you want to put a half-naked woman, I don't care, but preferably just not that. You gotta show your men gratitude, and you gotta understand that you don't want to be 80 years old with no children, dying alone. Like, that's miserable. That would be so miserable. It would be a kind of hell that I don't think you could picture right now as a young woman with so much potential. Because, I've gone through deaths, and I've seen what they're like. My grandmother recently died. My parents went over there every single day. She was, completely drugged out on morphine and stuff. But they went over there every single day to make sure that she knew that she was loved. And when you die, that's what you want. You want your children to come visit you every single day until the day you die, to make sure that you feel loved. And you want for your grandchildren over the weeks before you die to come say goodbye to you and tell them, and have them tell you that they love you. I'm sorry, my grandmother meant a lot to me. She was a really good woman. You want people at your funeral to recall you as the one who paid attention to you and made you feel important. You want to be known as a leader in your community, and the best way to do that is to be a mother and a grandmother, because you literally create your own little community, and that's the best way to change the world for a woman, is to provide a strong example to her daughters and her sons as to how to interact with the world and how to be a moral human being. You can be a really bad example of that, or you can take it with the type of responsibility that it actually deserves. My grandmother, I watched her make dinner every night for my grandfather, keep the house spotless, and work hard. It was really important to her to have, she worked as a Van Kampf or something like that, some bread company. She worked as a bread girl, and I don't know if she was baking bread or she was on the sales floor or something like that, but it was really important to her to be a hardworking woman, to have that job and to have a career. Even though my grandfather was like, hey, I don't want you to work. She was like, you don't know anything. But the thing is that, they didn't get divorced, even though, they had issues, and there probably could have been reasonable reasons to get divorced at certain times. But, I think for both of them, it was so beneficial for them to stick it out to the end. He died, a couple years ago. And, he had a really hard time when she had her stroke. But he sat there And he babied over her and she babied over him until the day he died. They took care of each other. That's what you want. You don't want to be alone when the time comes. It is so important not to be alone. You know? And I have that example to look on from my grandmother. A very strong woman. But guess what? None of that involved her being single, you dumb fucking cunts. None of that. She was a good woman who held down a job, who had a career, who raised a family, who did everything that she possibly could to be a positive and decent role model. I mean, I can't tell you how many friends that she had throughout the years that she kept and maintained, and you know, because she was such a good person. I mean, that's the type of life you want to live. That's the type of, you know, story and narrative you want to leave behind for your children to follow, so that they know, like, family is important, career and hard work is important, and it all requires balance. And that's what my grandmother taught me, and she taught me commitment. And my parents taught me commitment. It's really, really important. When you are sick and destitute, you want somebody there with you. When you fucked up really bad, you want your partner saying, honey, it's gonna be okay. We'll fix this together. And the thing is that women need to start being a lot more gratified. Show a lot more gratitude when their men do something for them. And they need to understand that their men sacrifice for them. And that when they have a decent man who's willing to provide for a family, he is sacrificing his time and energy and youth for that woman. To make that sure that she has a comfortable and happy life. And to show anything but gratitude, especially in a society built by men, in a secure system built by men. Even if you're being raped by your husband, you're still a billion times safer here in the United States, where you can run to the police and be like, yeah, my husband beat and raped me. Where you can run to other men to help you. You're safer here than anywhere else in the world. And it all is because men built this society for you. And you need to be grateful for that. And if you're not, you're just a fucking wretch.